score here? Cause I gotta be winning.
Hey guys, I got some good hands-on time with Marvel's The Avengers Beta that has been running the last little while. I checked it out on the PC. It's actually some of the footage that I recorded running on the PC that I played it on back there. I've got an M17 Alienware laptop that I played the game on. It was running pretty good. This is a 1920 by 1080 display, so it's not running 4K and HDR. All the beautiful stuff that we're going to expect out of top-end graphics cards or PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox One X, and then eventually Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, because this game is going to survive for a long time. And you can absolutely feel that in the beta. And the beta is meaty. I didn't finish it. I didn't get to see all of the stuff that was in there. I was playing late until last night, until past midnight, and Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics unplugged the server as I was mid-play.
Boy, did you choose the wrong side!
And I was disappointed because the game got its hooks into me. It's absolutely in my wheelhouse. You know, I love these superhero video games. I talk about them all the time. I also happen to love Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, who have partnered on this massive, massive idea. And that's something that's very clear right from the beginning. This is a massive game that needs the best of what Crystal D can offer and what Eidos Montreal can offer. You can absolutely see some connections to previous Tomb Raider experiences. It's interesting that one of the levels that you get to go through in the beta is to have Ms. Marvel and Bruce Banner, the Hulk, walking through a forest, and it felt very much like Lara Croft entering into a forest. And that was cool and understandable, but then of course this is the Avengers, so you need to see lots of technology. There's lots of characters fighting robots. There's some city sequences. There is the harm room. It's kind of like the danger room, the X-Men danger room, where all kinds of virtual enemies are populated for the heroes to take care of. And you can get a sense of the mechanics and the feel of each of the different heroes. Now, I haven't played as every character that is going to launch with the game, which includes Captain America, Black... Actually, I did, because one of the things that you get at the beginning of the game, although you don't quite know all of the intricacies of the mechanics and what every character is going to pull off, because it's just like the sort of teaser intro, all about the A-Day event that happens. Spoiler if you haven't seen any footage or trailers or anything like that, but Captain America tragically passes away on A-Day, the Avengers Day. There's a celebration that comes to memorialize that event. But the heroes fight Taskmaster in this sequence. It's the bridge sequence. It's pretty spectacular because you're bouncing from one hero to the next, but everything is happening so quickly, of course you don't get a real feel for all of the intricacies that every character has to offer. And that's what happens as you dive into the campaign, and it's further embellished by the pickups in the game. This has a heavy leaning on the games as service model. You can see the correlations and the connections to the discussions that this is like a Destiny for the Marvel superheroes. It fits pretty well, although there is a huge dependency on loot boxes in the traditional sense. I don't know what the monetary schemes are yet, but there will at least probably be the opportunity to spend real cash to add cosmetics to your characters. But what you find in these loot boxes, I think they're called war chests in the game, is all of these upgrades that you can apply that are under the costume. So it's not a cosmetic upgrade that you're seeing, like you're not attaching armor bits and stuff to the characters. It's sort of under the skin of the Hulk, or it's a vest that Ms. Marvel will wear under her costume. And it augments the strengths and the powers of the characters. And of course there's a skill tree where you can unlock all kinds of great new abilities. So there's definitely an RPG flavor to the experience, but it's really an action game. It's really about getting into combat with lots of enemies all around you, and each of the different hero types has a whole suite of different abilities, which are really fun. They have a sequence in the game. We spent a lot of time in an AIM facility as the Incredible Hulk, and it's really a bull in a china shop type of experience. You just are too big and too clumsy, and you're just bashing into walls, and you're trying to get around, which fits the character, and it's appropriate, but you're also coming to grips with how he maneuvers in this beta, and presumably it will be tuned and tweaked a little bit when the game is shipped very soon. It's only in a few more weeks. I just felt it a little unwieldy, which is okay on a conceptual level when you're playing the Hulk, because you should feel like the physics principles are coming into play, and he's a big creature that's moving quickly, so he's harder to stop, and he lumbers, and the laws of inertia are playing here, right? So he's bashing through walls and things, and you just want to make jumps and stuff, and he's not a character that's good for intricate little spaces, let's put it that way. So the carnage is amazing, and the stuff's blowing up all over the place, but yes, I found it a little sort of clumsy and cumbersome to find my way through the maze-like kind of structure of this facility. Then it switches to Ms. Marvel. I think it's Kamala Khan. I'm not really familiar with her as a character that I read, but man, I loved playing as Ms. Marvel because she has the, you know, the stretchy abilities of Plastic Man or Mr. Fantastic or Elongated Man. and so she can, throw out her arms and her legs and expand everything. She can even grow in size and stature, and she's very powerful and very kinetic and very fun. She has the ability to kind of swing like Spider-Man just by throwing out her extendo arm and grappling to a different ledge. And I love the fact that you could just blow up your hand basically and do like a high five move and bash a bunch of enemies up. It was very fun to play as Ms. Marvel. I thought that was awesome. But the real highlight was going back to Iron Man. Even though we got a taste of Iron Man at the beginning in the A-Day sequence on the bridge, it was cool, but I'm like, whoa, I'm pressing buttons and rockets and stuff are flying all over the place. But then you get a chance to kind of VR experience in the harm room, what it's like to be Iron Man, and then you can kickstart into another mission, which was the mission that ultimately Crystal D and Square Enix pulled the plug on the beta servers on while I was mid-play. But it was very fun to play as Iron Man. Definitely noticed a ceiling, which was one of my questions about the game. Like there's a height ceiling, an invisible wall, a barrier when you're I was in a city level flying around, but able to pull off combo moves where it was punch, punch, spin around, and then repulsor blast, and the enemies would go flying, and it's so tactile. It just feels so good. You can't fly anywhere. You're kind of in a sort of action box inside of a space. They're pretty large. It's very analogous to the scope and scale of the rooms that you would enter in Tomb Raider. Some of those dungeons in Tomb Raider could be super epic, and there's some exterior stuff in Tomb Raider that just felt really large and massive, and obviously it's along those same kinds of lines, because conceivably Square Enix used engine tech and learnings that they picked up with Tomb Raider to kind of reapply it to the environment and world building that's in Marvel's Avengers. It is a bit weird that you can't just like wrap around buildings and fly up to the top of a building. It's not open world. You kind of want it to be, especially after something like Marvel's Spider-Man did it so elegantly, but it's still large enough that you're going to see some really, really epic scale combat. Didn't get to play true multiplayer. I did enlist AI buddies, other Avengers teammates, and we did get into battle together. It kept trying to log me on and play online with other people, and it kept sort of bouncing out. So I didn't really get the experience of playing cooperatively with other people, which I would have liked. But I did have a lot of fun with the beta. It was very generous of Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix to offer players. I guess they had to pre-order to get into the beta, which is a little bit weird. We're so close to the game's launch that it's less a beta and more of a demo. But conceivably, there was a lot of statistical, analytics and things like that came back for the developers to kind of tweak and improve. You also can feel that this game is so big, it's kind of buckling under the weight of it and the ambition of it, and you know that this is just kind of launching and they're going to keep applying and adding all kinds of great content. And certainly the Spider-Man exclusivity on the PlayStation is problematic, but it's fun to be these heroes. And Black Widow's got her own skill set, and Thor has his own skill set, and Hawkeye's going to be coming down the road. I think out of all of them, though, the big smile on my face, the big surprise for me, though, was playing as Ms. Marvel. She's really a cool character. She's the kid, and she's just blown away, and it works to a degree how charming she is and how over the moon she is that she's hanging with Avengers. And playing as the Hulk was fun, but so far my two favorites are Iron Man and Ms. Marvel. I'm dying to get the full game. I'm dying to put in tons and tons of hours. This is definitely not perfect. I did feel like when we weren't in action, sometimes it felt like there were magnets attached to the character as it was trying to maneuver inside of the Chimera, the helicarrier that the Avengers are inside of, their sort of home base, which is all decrepit and destroyed. But walking inside of there, it was like something was pulling magnetically on the sticks and forcing me to go in different directions. And I felt that too as I was walking through environments, heading into the more open spaces where action was going to take place. It felt a little clunky, and hopefully more smoothing and more polishing will come before launch and after launch, but clearly there is a ton of content in here, and for superhero fanatics like myself, there's going to be a lot to have fun with. I'll definitely have more thoughts on the Avengers as the full game draws nearer, but this beta was fun, and it was a nice meaty taste of the game, and it felt a little bit like a pre-release gift from the folks at Square Enix and Crystal D. I can't wait for the final game. I'm going to have a lot more content for you guys, so make sure you keep it locked to the channel. I'll have a new side-scrolling superheroes for you in a little bit. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon, and until then, play forever.